my money back. That was not a gift.
But what you steal?
I don't steal anything. To be cut off because I took my credit card off because I found out that Towanda has been using my credit card to pay her phone bill.
My phone?
Return my money. That wasn't a present. What do you pilfer? I'm not a thief. It's going to be disconnected since I cancelled my credit card after learning that Towanda had been using it to pay her phone bill. My cell phone. According to officials from the FBI's Atlanta field office, Towanda Braxton's bankruptcy drama may involve much more than just financial difficulties. As a result, her name has officially entered the federal radar, and the streets are humming. According to recent records, quiet property transfers and undeclared income are related, turning the entire situation into a possible bankruptcy fraud. Social media went crazy when that information initially surfaced, as I recall. Because the timing seemed so ideal, fans instantly tagged Tamar Braxton, asking if she was the one who gave investigators the information. Her sister Towanda named Tamar Braxton as a creditor, and one fan even remarked, "Tamar Braxton is crazy," as she flashed them receipts. It was a gift lie. And that post caused an overnight internet catastrophe. Towanda identified Tamar as owing $35,000 in the 2019 Chapter 7 form, and by daylight, government eyes were already searching through it. Tamar labeled the money as a loan, but Towanda claimed it was a present. According to investigators, a single line on the form could be considered a false declaration under Section 18 U.S.C. 152 factorial, which is a significant federal concern. It also becomes more disorganized. Checking her bank statements wasn't the only purpose of the warrant. According to sources, Towanda may have tried to protect herself by transferring her Georgia house into her husband's name. Assets throughout the legal proceedings. Tamar supposedly assisted with that same house, which she brought up to her sister on television. The clip that fans will never forget then appeared. "I know where you live, because I paid the down payment," Tamar said to Towanda directly during an old Braxton Family Values tape, shocking fans at the time, but it has an entirely new impact now. "I made your down payment, which is why you are alive." Yes, you did. I really appreciate that. And return my money now that you've had an accident. I didn't pledge to go there. It was, indeed. However, viewers now think that Tamar's previous on-camera punch was more than mere sister shade. It was clear-cut proof. Insiders stated that the FBI apparently demanded credit line documents associated with that same location shortly after that moment was broadcast. At that point, the purported phone bill mess came pouring out. One admirer made it very obvious. Towanda is really rude. Paying $35,000 for a house loan and 6 phone lines for a year for 4 years. I would never talk to you again. It initially appeared as though individuals were being overly theatrical. However, things start to make sense when you discover that the case file actually mentions long-term recurrent phone charges under Tamar's name. What appeared to be a suddenly, the little family squabble feels like a paper trail. And Towanda's past is what shocked them even more. If you dig a little deeper, you'll discover that she was detained in 2005 on accusations of forgery and theft by receiving in Atlanta. These offenses went unreported, but it seems the federal government didn't forget. These days, everyone is curious about the same subject. Was Tamara indeed the one who reported her own sister? Because the 2019 bank statements had to be turned over, and investigators don't move until they have receipts. When people couldn't tell if this was self-defense, retaliation, or something else entirely as Tamar's name began to trend alongside the FBI witness. However, another layer fell before anyone could point fingers. Tamar and Tony were allegedly dragged into Towanda's financial turmoil without their consent. The streets began muttering one name, Tamar Braxton, as soon as word of Towanda's predicament appeared on blogs. Nor was it arbitrary. The chronology appeared very tidy. Fans claim that Tamar tweeted a string of now-deleted cryptic tweets days before the purported government ordered hit Towanda's file, suggesting that she had had enough of her sister's tales. Not to mention TMZ's 2019 confirmation that Towanda owed Tamar $35,000, which Towanda claimed was a gift, but Tamar referred to as a personal debt. The fraud accusations now revolve around that small dispute. Because it may be considered a fraudulent declaration to mislabel a family debt on bankruptcy filings. This is where the storyline becomes even more bizarre. According to an insider, when questioned, Tamar provided evidence of financial transactions. The money was allegedly wired to Towanda's escrow account for that down payment on the house, according to financial correspondence her legal team supposedly received. Tamar's outburst, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment," may have been more than the intensity of a reality TV show. It may have been actual proof. Supporters also think this explains why, soon after the filing, Towanda moved her Georgia home into her husband's name. When assets begin to move mid-case, the feds do not participate. People are hit under the concealment clause in this way. To make matters worse, Tamar confronts Towanda about a cease and desist letter that she never got in an old Braxton family values clip that has surfaced. The fandom was completely turned upside down when Tamar told her, "I know where you live because I paid the down payment. You've been stealing from me for years." Towanda immediately clapped back, saying, "Girl, you stole Tony's man. Don't even start with me. You don't. What did I take? Men were stolen by you. Why am I quoting the man I stole? Tony's." After that episode aired, people began looking into every old rumor the Braxton family had ever attempted to bury, which completely turned everything upside down. What started out as a straightforward bankruptcy case abruptly revealed years of long-standing conflicts, old secrets, and emotional scars that were never shown on television. People instantly related Wanda's response to those well-reported accusations of Tamar. Holding private conversations with Michael Malden, the father of Jermaine Dri, and Carrie Lewis, Tony's ex-husband. All of a sudden, social media became a complete archive, retrieving footage, forgotten tweets, and interviews. Hit different now. It wasn't just drama anymore. It felt like the whole family history was unraveling, fans commented. And here's the bit that truly rattled viewers. The same reality TV moments that once created the Braxton brand are now being looked at as potential supporting evidence in a federal case. One insider claims that although Tamar's team didn't immediately report her sister, they cooperated fully and provided all requested documents when investigators contacted them. However, the public isn't buying the innocent witness narrative. Fans believe Tamar was attempting to protect herself before she was caught in the crossfire. To put it bluntly, one fan said, "Towanda telling Tony to call the police and press charges is a little extreme." Tamar herself once acknowledged the family, so that remark struck a deep chord. It's amazing how the Braxtons' real-life chaos and their reality TV storyline suddenly feel like one giant. Off-camera, it's a whole battlefield. That divide between the polished TV sisterhood and the real-life tension is what made fans realize this situation wasn't new. It was years of resentment finally spilling over at the worst possible moment, right when the feds were watching. The only thing that brings us together is the cameras. Fans believe Tamar cooperated with investigators, not out of retaliation, but out of self-protection, trying to keep her name clean before the fire spread to her doorstep. To be honest, the timing of the investigation is what really made this whole situation hit different, not the money. Every shady comment, every old clip, and every sarcastic moment that was a gift now looks like a breadcrumb in a much bigger, darker story. Makes that theory sound much more plausible. Then came the rumor that ignited the internet once more. That Towanda once stole Evelyn Braxton's social security check. Zoe, Tony's former assistant, made the accusation without holding back on his 2020 podcast, calling the act evil and stating that it wasn't the first time Towanda crossed a financial line. The public's recollection of Towanda's 2005 arrest for forgery and receiving stolen goods in Atlanta didn't exactly fade. With that reappearance, the new federal situation felt less like miscommunication and more like a continuation of a long-standing pattern. For viewers of the Braxtons from the early seasons, financial concerns were always present, but this time, the stakes are higher than a sister fight. When you combine federal financial allegations with 10 years of unresolved tension, the entire Braxton legacy begins to show cracks. Even Tony, who is typically the composed one, made headlines after that viral clip where she cancelled on Towanda's event over the phone. Fans claimed that wasn't scheduling, rather, it was distance and perhaps even a warning sign that Tony was defending her own reputation before things got out of hand. However, this is the part that affected the fandom the most. The more these old clips come to light, the more it seems that the Braxtons' on-camera unity was never as solid as the show made it seem. What were once thought to be harmless arguments now appear to be hints of something much deeper. Something that's finally coming to light at the worst possible time. Can't wait to see it. Able to be there. That's why I was calling you. That made me very sad. I know. Fans interpreted that moment as a major signal that Tony was stepping back, not out of pettiness, but out of pure protection. When your family is under federal review, the last thing you want is your own accounts tied to anything messy. People think Tony was putting distance between them before things got worse, and to be honest, who could blame her? The Braxtons used to flood social media with sister selfies, birthday posts, and family first moments, but now there was nothing, not even a repost, and that silence felt louder than any statement. This case isn't small. The FBI's Financial Crimes Unit looks into everything. One admirer commented, "Someone with 150 in their account shouldn't be driving a 50,000 Tesla," pointing out that the same family members Towanda allegedly charged for phone lines were the ones remaining silent. There's a problem. And the remark went viral right away, because it matched what court observers discovered in Towanda's paperwork, which showed that she had about $277,000 in assets, but over $547,000 in liabilities, including an expensive Tesla that she was still using on the show. The feds are currently examining everything from phone bills to property deeds, and insiders claim that if the financial disclosures are found to be false, Towanda could face up to 5 years in prison. Meanwhile, Tomorrow's camp has remained silent, which further infuriated fans, because if it turns out that Tamar secretly turned over evidence, this could go down as one of the most shocking family betrayals in reality TV history. Just when people thought the mess couldn't get any deeper, another twist surfaced: Tony's husband and some eyebrow-raising offshore transfers. When word leaked that the FBI had allegedly frozen one of Towanda's business accounts, everyone thought that was the last explosion, but insiders claim that that was just the beginning. Investigators discovered that a significant portion of her skincare company's earnings had been transferred through a consulting firm under her husband's name, the same man who now owns the title to their Georgia home. That move, which may have been intended to shield assets, allegedly backfired in the worst way. Prosecutors are now considering that transfer as intent to conceal, and that's when things got even darker. According to people close to Tony's circle, she quietly removed her name from all joint Braxton ventures months ago. Fans also noticed another detail: those old pictures from Towanda's Bridgeton-themed bridal shower, in which neither Tony nor Tamar appeared. At the time, everyone assumed it was shade. Now, it appears that they were pulling away, at the same time that the IRS allegedly issued a back tax warning, which set off the initial round of scrutiny. Tony claimed to be planning the bridal shower, but she isn't actually doing it. Someone else is making sure everything is ready for it. I just assumed that everyone would be happy, excited, and eager to participate, but I'm not getting any of that, and that makes me sad. People initially believed that Tony and Tamar's decision to skip Towanda's bridal shower was just petty sister drama, but now it appears that they were already taking a step back, because, according to insiders, that was around the time the IRS issued that back tax warning on Towanda's household account, which is what caused the first wave of federal attention. All those quiet moments that fans dismissed as typical sister tension now feel like signs the family saw this trouble coming long before the internet did. What's making everything even wilder is the Braxtons, who were once hailed as the epitome of harmony, love, and enduring sisterhood, are now entangled in rumors of betrayal, financial secrets, and constant online chaos. According to insiders, Towanda's next court date may involve a plea deal discussion, if she chooses to cooperate and disclose who else might have benefited from the contested filings. That's what shocked fans the most, because if Tony's name or tomorrow's money touched any of those accounts, even by accident, this whole thing could blow up into something much larger than a personal bankruptcy mess. Towanda is allegedly denying everything, but her silence sounds more like strategy than confidence. It's as if she's holding her breath while investigators piece together more details behind the scenes. Fans on social media frequently point out that Towanda's quietness contrasts sharply with her previous transparency on social media, and that change alone gives people the impression that she's being told to remain motionless while the legal storm swirls around her. Then it hits you. The Braxtons were once America's R&B sisterhood fantasy, known for harmony, love, and unity. However, the same fame that once lifted them up may now be the very thing tearing them apart from the inside. The most bizarre part is that insiders claim the FBI's case file allegedly references multiple family-linked financial accounts that are still under federal review, meaning Tony and Tamar could be questioned next if their names appear. This is a full-blown legacy crisis, not just a financial scandal. Fans are afraid that if that occurs, the Braxton legacy might never recover from this fallout. It's the kind of family disaster reality TV could never script, a dynasty built on talent now overshadowed by money, mistrust, and betrayal. Before you leave, please remember to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment if you enjoy delving into the real, unvarnished, and messy side of celebrity life. We have more drama, more truth, and more chaos coming your way. You won't want to miss what comes next, I promise. This is Celeb Pop Daily.